All right, so how do we confidently know how to place our objects? Obviously, when we place our first object down in the room, we can actually put it wherever we like, right? So let's go ahead and do this. So let's imagine that this is my room, and let's imagine that there's a wall here, right? This is a wall, and I have kind of a ground plane over here. So let's imagine this, and we can imagine that all this stuff is going out to a VP. So very simply, if I just put down a stick, and let's say, for example, I want to mirror this stick. How do I mirror this across? Oops. How do I mirror this across this plane, right? So I get the same distance. Well, if we just use this and we pull a line back out, well, that's not quite right. That looks a bit more in perspective. Well, actually, that didn't look too good either. I think this is a bit closer. So we pull a line out this way, and this should go back to the VP. And we pull another line out, and this should also go back to the VP. And what we're looking for is the center line, or the middle point. So all we really need to do, since it's a 2-point perspective drawing, and so that means all our verticals are at 9 degrees. So we simply take from here, where it cuts through this baseline, that goes up, and this essentially creates the equivalent of this up here. And so we just need to find the halfway point between here. So all we then need to do is, let's just bisect this in half, gives me a point there. And if I run this back out to the VP, right, I'm really looking for this part here. So top corner here, cuts across this. Oh, not quite what I wanted. Almost. There we go. That line comes down, gives me a point there, and that is the equivalent of the other line on the other side, where this distance, let's call it X, is the same as this. So obviously, if you measure this with a ruler, they're not going to be the same, but in perspective, they're actually the same size. So this is how we can guarantee when we're mirroring across that we've got the same thing. So I'm going to change to another color, and let's imagine if we go backwards, right? So there's a glass plane over here, or a mirror plane. Then the idea is the same. These lines are going to go back to their respective VPs. So one on this side, one on this side. And again, vertical line up. I find that point. Let's find the middle. There it is. That goes back to the VP. That's the true middle based off this center axis where we're mirroring from. Again, I use the bottom corner instead of the top. So bottom corner across the middle here. There we go. It's a bit more accurate. There, intersects here. So now I know, hey, if mirrored back this way, that's where my stick would end up being. And this distance, if we call it Y, we would then have an exact replica on this side as well. And of course, this will occur if we wanted to move this down, if we want to move this back as well, right? The idea will stay the same. So hopefully this helps. If you have any more questions, just let me know.